Hello and you're very welcome to this pit stop for Defense Grid, the board game, designed by Anthony Hanses and published by Forged by Geeks. In Defense Grid, the board game, 1 to 4 players are going to play cooperatively as AIs, who are looking to defend their core from invading waves of aliens who are going to be coming along a set route from a map made of modular pieces and attempting to steal your cores while you build towers in certain places around that route in order to stop them from stealing your goodness. At the beginning of each turn, each player is going to draw up to a certain number of cards, depending upon how many your players you are playing with, and then the players get to take actions in order to defeat these aliens. Now, the first thing you can do is you can build towers. Now, there are various types of towers in the game, and each mission, there can be an amount of towers available to you. The game can be played as a campaign, or each of the missions can be played standalone, and the further you go into the campaign book, the more of these 9 types of towers available to you. This is mission 1, in which we just have these 4 available: guns and inferno and lasers and cannons. In order to build one of these towers, we're simply going to pay its cost in resources. So I want to build a laser, it costs me 7, I'll move it down, and this is a shared group set of resources, and all decisions made in the game are group decisions. We're going to choose together to build this. I then choose any valid spot in which to build it, and I put it in play, and I stick a number of tokens on there equal to its rate of fire, meaning that's how many times it can activate on a round. So we are going to have to activate these towers on a round, otherwise we're not going to be able to damage these aliens. In each player's hand now, each AI starts with a particular set of cards, but it will have activation cards which match these basic towers. As we move on to more advanced towers, we'll talk about how you're going to do that. For example, here, if I activate this gun tower, I check its range to see if there's anything within range of it, and then I get to shoot at whatever's in range, and I make a choice. And it's going to do a certain number of damage. Now, it's got a base damage of 1. This happens to be an upgraded tower, which I've paid 5 of my resources in order to put this yellow thing underneath it, which means I actually get to roll a die with that, see if I do any extra damage. I didn't, so that's 1 damage to one of these walkers, and that's 1 activation done. And any player can play any activation card in order to activate any tower that's already been built. And you can see that they come in the laser and inferno and cannon and gun, those types of towers I discussed previously. Now, you can also play different types of cards from your hand, and each of the AIs comes with a different set of these cards within their deck. For example, you've got activate any tower, so I can activate anything. Or priority target, meaning that I don't have to obey certain rules when we're shooting, which we're going to come to in a second. And you'll see all sorts of things in there, like a wide beam lens for my laser tower, or a focus nozzle for my inferno tower, or the ability to upgrade these towers for fewer resources, and so on and so forth. Also, if I happen to have one of these cards in my hand that was useless, for example, this activate cannon, we're not planning on building any cannons for a little while. Any player can discard a card, which we'll come back to them when they reshuffle, to gain 1 resource. Or if we've got a tower on the board we particularly don't want anymore, we can sell it back into the pool, but we're only going to get half of its basic build costs. It's not a very efficient way of building resources, at least not until you get onto much later missions. Once the players between them have decided that they've finished all the things that they want to do, we're going to go to a return cores phase, which I'll actually skip over and come back to in a second, and then all of the aliens are going to activate. We roll a movement die for them to see if they get any bonus movement. In this case, they don't get any. And then each of the 3 different types here, and there are loads of different types as you go through the different missions, you'll get all sorts of different things and challenges coming out. I'll just describe these types for you for now. They're all going to move. They all have a base movement rate. So this walker here has made it to the core, and you might be able to see that it's got one of the cores attached to it. And it's going to walk back along this route and start heading back towards the exit. If it gets to the exit with that core, then we have lost it. And if you lose all 12 cores in any mission, that is the win condition. If you lose all 12 of them, then the players together have lost the game. If you save even 1, then you have won it on a bronze level. If you save 6 or more, you've got to a silver level. And if you save all 12, you've got to a gold level. And that's going to affect how you can upgrade your team as we go through. But let's get back to these aliens quickly. This bulwark here is just going to move 4 forward towards there. And these walkers will move along as well. And a new wave will come in, and they will start giving us more problems. And you can always see the waves in advance. And when you get past wave 4 in any mission, and there are 10 waves in each mission, then they start getting more hit points, each of the aliens, and causing you more trouble. So I said there are 3 different types out here, and I'll tell you what they are. So the walkers here start with the most health, a medium amount of movement, and they've got no special abilities. These swarmers down here, they move quickest, they've got the least amounts of health, but that red token on there means that you must prioritize whenever you're shooting if they are within range of the tower you're shooting with. So they'll draw your fire. But if we looked over here, priority target, if someone played this card on a turn, we can ignore that prioritization and ignore these swarmers in this setup. The bulwark up here has got both shields and armor. When an alien's got shields, the first hit, no matter how much damage, takes away shields first. And then armor reduces the amount of damage each hit does to that particular alien as you go through. So that's slow moving, but it's harder to kill than the others. As I said, each of the waves, the aliens get more health as you go through, and hopefully you've built up more towers. If you do destroy an alien that's got a core on it, the core drops to the ground. Now, before the aliens move on that turn, what's going to happen is that core will attempt to move back towards the center, and it will move 3 spaces each time. But if it comes to an alien that hasn't picked up a core yet, or hasn't got to its maximum capacity of cores, again, later on aliens can carry more of them, this alien will immediately turn around, and on their next movement, they'll start heading towards the exit. So you have to be careful not to allow them to get too far away from your center. Now, I was saying that if you do in fact win the game, you're going to get a certain amount of upgrade points. And each AI, and you can print out these sheets, has got a little card in which what you do is you're not spending points to build cards exactly, you're changing the specifications of your deck to allow you to have more cards in there. Everyone starts with the base 20. Also, you're spending points to enable you to unlock better abilities on cards for certain types. For example, this upgrade tower here, if I had upgraded my special cards, instead of using the novice ability, I could use the elite ability or even the master ability if I spent enough points. And at the end of each mission, it's heavily suggested that the players get together, discuss what points they've got, and then they build their decks according to what they think their strategy might be for the next mission, according to which of these towers they can have available. And there is a huge deck of upgrade cards, so you can have attack cards for the different types of towers, you can have different types of special actions, and you can upgrade the attacks of certain things, like upgrading your laser tower attack for one player, or upgrading your Tesla tower attacks for another player, and so on and so forth, maybe picking up Merv warheads for your missile towers. However you decide to upgrade together and build your decks and fight off the aliens, that is how you're going to play Defense Grid, the board game. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please check out the Game Pit podcast. Thank you.